Hello, my little cucumbers, and welcome back to the Cooped Up podcast. How are we doing? It is holiday season, and Christmas and New Year's are right around the corner, and I am excited. I'm so excited. I am going back to Florida. I haven't been in a year. I haven't been back to Florida in a literal year. I think the last time I was there was for Christmas last year. And I'm excited. I'm going back for a week. I'm gonna be zen in Florida. I love being at the location that I'm going to be, which is going to be my parents' house. In terms of just like the proximity to the beach. I love the beach. I love Florida beaches. I love East Coast water. And I am just so excited to be back in the water. Not around Florida people, but the water for sure. I don't care how cold it's supposed to be while I'm there. Although I'm pretty sure the weather is supposed to be nice, but we'll see. But I want to start with obviously a what are you wearing? And so I'm going to get into that for you guys. I'll stand up, do a quick little 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So I am wearing a Skims long sleeve shirt and Zara pants with a diesel belt because I love diesel belts. I got a text. I love diesel in general, but diesel belts, I'm like, oh, I got this when I was in Japan. And when I was there, they were like, oh, you're so tiny. Like, Japanese are obsessed with being tiny. And so when they saw me, they're like, oh, you're trying on this? Oh, you're trying on this? And I was like, I'm here for a bag or a belt. Like, that's it. But the clothes, if I had the money for it, I would have gotten it all. But one day, I'll be dripped in diesel, maybe walking for diesel, who knows? But I love my diesel belt down and my diesel bag you guys see all the time. But yeah, that's my quick little what are you wearing? And I wanted to give you guys that little breakdown. But today's episode, we are just going to be talking about getting into the end of the year and the expectations and what everyone's looking forward to and what everyone's most excited for. You know, I have not yet decorated my apartment for Christmas. I don't know if I haven't done it because I'm not going to be here or I haven't done it just because I don't have the time. I don't know. But I feel like I'm late to the game. I feel like I'm going to have to do something before I leave and just to like get into some spirit. But I feel like, you know, this is the time of the year where everyone starts reflecting on a lot of things. And, you know, I feel like I've had a lot of time to reflect on things. And I guess just like even the progression or like the direction of the podcast, I find it funny because I am trying to surround myself with people who have goals within social media, I would say, just trying to expand on that. You know how if you are an avid TikToker user like I am, they are talking about how people like duos, essentially. Duos are supposed to be like the trend for 2026 in terms of people just growing on social media. And I'm not really into duos, but I am into having content days and content shoots and expanding and just growing together as wholes. I know, for example, like on Thanksgiving, right? Like I took pictures and I took videos for my friend because she does wine and she's in the wine industry, and that was part of, you know, what we had at Thanksgiving. And I was like, you know, like I can help you with some content just to give you, and it's practice for me, but it's beneficial for you, and you can use it for your own socials or send it to your job or what have you. Like it's not something that I was looking for in terms of monetary, but just something in terms of practice for myself. And that's what I mean when I'm like, I need to start developing and growing friendships and relationships with people that are going to foster something good for the relationship as a whole, whether or not it's for me, it's for them, it's for both of us, what have you. And so I just find it so funny because a lot of my friends now, everyone's like, oh my God, we need to get on our grind. We need to get on our hustle. And I'm like, I have been on my grind and my hustle. I would like to think, I have missed one or two episodes here and there because of, my own things going on or technical difficulties or what have you. But for the most part, I feel like I have been very consistent with this podcast and just with trying to grow and see what works and what doesn't work. And I see and I understand what people like to see. I can see with my own analytics on the things that people enjoy me talking about. And it's interesting because I come on here and I try and talk about growing as a person, as an individual, right? I talk about how I'm looking for my husband. I want the podcast to grow because this is something that I consider to be a job for me, even though I'm like Twitch. I'm like, even though I might not, have any monetary income coming from this, at the moment, I still look at this as something that needs to grow because I've only been doing it for 6-7 months. I have to start with some type of foundation and how I'm going to expand on it. And so I just find, myself in reflection. But yeah, like people are like, lock in. And I'm like, I'm locked in. I come on here and I'm trying to say, oh, I want a relationship. I want the podcast to grow. I want to have a family one day. I want to travel more. I want to do all these things. But then I come on here and I talk about, how I went out last week. I'm like, I need to be able to grow as a person and move forward into like the lifestyle that I want. And then to show you guys how you can go from the party antics into hopefully something that is more lifestyle oriented, which is crazy to think because I'm like, oh my God, is this because I'm 29 now? Like every time I talk to people, it's so interesting because when I go places, they don't think I am even legal age. Like people will ask me, are you 21? And I'm like, I'm 29. Like, I know black don't crack, but like, I'm 29. And so when I say I'm 29 now, I'm like, do I have to act like I'm 29? Do I have to dress like I'm 29? I don't think there's a certain like mold to it. I hope not. Because if there is, I don't think I'm going to adhere to that one. But I'm like acting my age because I want to grow. Talking to one of my friends the other day, and she was telling me about how she has been seeing this guy now, and he's a little bit older. We're at the age where you can date a little bit older, and it's perfectly fine. And I was actually at work the other day, and one of my coworkers, what did I say his name was last episode? I said his name was like Daniel. Daniel, yeah, he's the one who I said that went on a date. He was like talking about how old he is versus how old the girl that he went on a date was. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. I remember when I was that young, I was like, I'm trying to date someone who's 41, 42. And he looked at me and he was like, what? And I was like, well, I was like, I am 29. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. So I was like, I could do 41, 42 if I'm trying to like settle down and have a family. Guys that I've dated who were like 35, 36, they're not ready. I can tell you that much. At least the ones in LA, 35, 36, they're not ready for anything. And I'm like, that's only 6-7 years older than me. I could go to the club now and I'm like, oops, sometimes I'm like, wherever we're going, like what's the age? Because I'm like, I don't want to be like the old ones there. Like I joke around sometimes and I'm like, oh yeah, bitch, I'm unk. But like, I don't want to go there and places and actually feel like I'm unk. Even though I am an uncle because I have 2 nieces, but like metaphorically unk, I don't want to feel like metaphorical unk. That's funny that I even mentioned between being your actual uncle versus a metaphorical uncle, because it's, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Charlie XCX is going to be coming out with a movie, and in the trailer for the movie, someone was like, she's talking about singing about doing cocaine. And someone was like, well, she talked about it metaphorically or like actually. And she was like, how do you do metaphorical cocaine? And so I just thought that was funny, the little, you know, twi connection. I don't know. These are the things that I think about. But this is what I'm saying. I was telling you guys about how I like to party and do all of these things. But the point of this podcast was to actually come on here and talk about the things that I have going on or the things that I'm talking like expansion and growing and how I'm taking the steps to do that. And I feel like I'm regressing a little and I'm talking about going out and boys and like straight men and stuff like that. And so the direction of this podcast will be for real about just talking about how we better ourselves and how I can achieve the things that I want to achieve. I want to write down goals about what I want to accomplish for the year of 2026 as a whole and how I'm going to achieve those goals. And the only parties that I should be going to should be like Days Magazine album release parties or I'm at like those types of parties. Like I need to elevate. I need to grow. I can't stay stagnant. I think, you know, I'm such a scheduled person. I live my life by time slots and I become so organized and used to a schedule. I can't forget what the main goal is. And the main goal is to not have two jobs and go to WeHo Wednesday and, you know, be here and there and, you know, sleep and do whatever I want, whenever I want. Like, yeah, the goal is to do whatever I want, but that's on like brand trips and stuff. Like, I'm not going on brand trips. What do I need to do to get myself to that? I don't know, but I need to like, maybe I do need to lock in just a little bit tighter. And, you know, I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to build the relationships. I'm trying to do the damn thing. I'm trying to zone in and just elevate. And you know how I know I'm going to do it? Because I made 2 new accounts. I'm not even going to tell you guys the names of these accounts yet. I made 2 new accounts and I'm just going to post whatever on those 2 accounts and see how those progress. But it's going to be whatever based under a specific niche. I'm not a niche person. As you can see on my main account, I post whatever I want, whenever I want. Mostly it's the gym, going out, or like eating, or like hikes with Stella. But like I'm trying to become like a niche person and see how successful that can be. So I made 2 new accounts, 2 different niches, and we're going to see which one sticks. Because I have ideas. Maybe I should think about getting a management. Like, I know I don't have that many followers to be having like a management company, but there are models who walk couture and have management companies and they have 1,000, 2,000 followers and they're walking Chanel. So maybe I don't need that many. Maybe I just need to remember that I'm that bitch and I can get what I want. Because bitch, that's what I'm talking about. I know that's right. But in all seriousness, well, I mean, all of that was seriousness, but in all seriousness, I will be having a busy upcoming week between packing, between Christmas parties, between events, but they're not even events. I call them events because I feel like I'm attending. I feel like I'm being requested to come, so it's an event for me, but it's just like a normal outing or hangout for other people. Well, I don't know, but I got a lot of things coming up before I leave, and so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to share that with you guys, and I'm just excited to come into this new year with some better things, some bigger and better things, you know. It's funny that I even say that because I made a TikTok and I said, oh, wait, that is on the account that nobody knows about yet. So I'm not going to talk about that TikTok. But the year is almost over and tell me why I got exes texting me. I got exes in my DMs. We haven't talked in 2-3 years. Do not hit me up. Don't do that. I should make a list like this one girl did. And she was like, if you do this in 2026, you're getting blocked. If you do this in 2026, you're getting blocked. If you do this in 2026, you're getting blocked. You're getting blocked. But you guys know what to do. You're going to like, subscribe, comment, follow, share, do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're going to come back for next week's episode. Happy holidays. Bye.